everybody! No!
Oh, it's too late. The studio audience isn't in yet.
Oh no!
So it's all fine. Hey everybody! Welcome to the latest episode of the Crafty Boys. Actually, my favorite one was the doorbell. That one. That's the one.
There we go.
Episode 58 of the Crafty Boys, and this is a Driftwood heavy episode. Thankfully, they didn't sponsor us, so that's okay. Driftwood Brewery has given us no money for this, but for some reason we've decided that today is the day that Driftwood Brewery out of Victoria, British Columbia, which I always assume is in Hillside Mall because there's really nothing else in that area, is our choice of the week, and we have 3 different beers. We tried to get one, but Dave, who's this guy over here, chose the beer this week, and he chose the beer that no one else could get. So congratulations, Dave.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Ow, my ankle. I just hurt myself. So anyway, Dave, I'm going to start with you. What beer did you get? What was the beer you wanted us all to have, but we failed miserably?
The beer. Yes, the beer that I actually wanted was Son of the Morning. I gotta show this off.
Son of the Morning,
we were
which
talking
is
a little
the coolest
about
label.
This. Oh, absolutely. We were talking about this before we fired up, and Alan informed us that this label actually won an award, a design award.
For
Yes.
being so incredibly evil.
It did, from Applied Arts Magazine. It's the winner of the 2016 Applied Arts Illustration Award. Now, I've never heard of Applied Arts Magazine. I imagine it's a pretty big deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume it's probably the
I
only
looked
thing
for
that if
Applied
you're-
Arts Magazine up at 7-Eleven in the magazine rack. I didn't see it there. I saw Cat Fancier. I saw Time Magazine, and I even saw a Skin Mag, but I didn't see Applied Arts Magazine. I don't know. I don't know where else to look.
Well, props for looking. Props for looking.
Oh, totally. Yeah, props for looking. You never know when looking for skin mags, you'll find Applied Arts Magazine. So
Yes. It's probably mostly ads anyway.
what was the skin mag that what's his name from Married with Children always got, like Jugs or something, or Big Jugs?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was just called Jugs.
I'm pretty sure. I don't recall. It was so. I'm trying to remember all the other sort of fake skin mag titles that I've ever seen, but that is the one that always comes to mind first.
There was one from
Jugs.
The Simpsons. It was Gigantic Asses. Your new issue of Gigantic Asses is coming.
Ooh, jeez. Okay. Well, on that note, so the beer that I got, actually, sorry, no, Alan, let's go to you. What did No, you and I didn't get the same one. Sorry.
No.
For some reason, had it off the top of my head on the top of my head that we had, but apparently I'm dumb. The one that I got is the White Bark Witbeer, which this label didn't win an award because it's got a hipster on it, and when you're in Vancouver, hipsters never win. So
That's like 90% of our audience, if we had one.
well, we had one viewer, no more. Oh my god, that's so sad. I totally don't know what to say other than wah wah.
What can you tell us about your beer? How many what's the IBUs?
What's the international beer units? The international beer units on the wheat beer are I don't know. Actually, they don't have. They have their address. They don't have an IBU on this. The international beer units.
and they don't on their website either.
So I don't know what the international beer units are, but I'm sure that they're about 20 to 30, because I'm just guessing entirely.
You're getting that
So
having not even tried it.
that's so true.
Okay. And I got also from Driftwood the Entangled Hopfenweisse.
Hopfenweisen?
Hopfenweisse?
Hopfenweisen!
Hopfenweisse.
That's the Entangled David Hasselhoff's edition.
Yes. It is a beer. It's just again, I brought it up
I knew
here.
that.
It is a fusion of delicate clove and fruity banana esters produced by Munich Hefeweizen yeast with a fruit punch that is mosaic. Notes of guava, passion fruit, and mango are backed up by a chewy malt body and cut through with effervescent carbonation. What a description! Chewy malt body. I've never.
Sorry, chewy?
But
Chewy. We're drinking beer. That's
It's
kind of
like-
awesome, actually.
Should I get a fork?
Honestly, to me, that's exactly what would happen. Is if you actually have any beer that has anything representing words like chewy in them, it's just not. I don't know. There's just something disturbing about that somehow.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, whatever.
but if you want
Okay,
to be
so
able
let's
to open
open
up your
these.
beer and chew on what's inside, then by all means, fill your boots. So I think it's time to open. It's time to open these babies. Where is my opener? There it is. I'm rocking the. Oh, sorry.
That
Get
you know what
down,
that sound
get
means?
down,
It's
get
time.
down.
It's time to open our
Get
beers.
Get down. Get down. Oh, sorry. Wrong era.
Jungle boogie.
Jungle
Jungle
boogie.
boogie.
Jungle. We're gonna get totally just like roasted for that.
Why?
So I'm gonna pour my beer because I can't. There's my opener. Thank you again, Steam Whistle, for your metal things from the Beer Fest last year. All right, pouring the beer.
All right, this is
Hoping
the
Peanut
this
Gallery
is the
shows up.
Entangled Hopfenweisse.
Look at that orange color.
Yes, it's very very orangey. It is not clear. You can't see through it. And fairly nice looking head. It's not as heady as I would normally like, but it seems to be holding. So while you guys pour and talk about your beers, I'm going to start drinking.
Yeah, no, that's great because mine is. I was waiting for you to finish because mine is here. It's the white bark and it's very sort of lemony colored. Again, can't see through it. It's got a decent head on it. I poured a little harder in the other glass here, so it's got a bit of a bigger head, but the color is pretty consistent from glass to glass or something. So, Dave, what about yours?
I had a reasonable head. This has died down a little bit, but I
Lift it
purposely
up higher.
didn't
Lift
pour
it up higher. Show
totally
us the color.
carefully. It is golden, as advertised. You're seeing it a bit redder than it is in real life. It's a little clearer than what you're seeing. It's nice. I like
All
it.
right.
Cool. So I'm tasting the Hopfenweisse.
Yeah.
And like their description on the website, very fruity. I don't know if I can detect specific like flavors of like banana or guava or anything like that, but definitely fruity kind of tastes, but not overpowering either. It's a really nice brew. If you guys can find this, I suggest that you get it.
I gotta say, I am not unimpressed. I'm actually quite happy with this one. This one is very, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
No, not really, because you haven't really said anything.
It's advertised as being a quaffable beer that has a lot of sort of fruitiness to it, which I have to agree with. It's actually quite good. I am impressed, and I give it up to Driftwood because it's almost like drinking orange juice.
Mm.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
in the description it says that it's definitely got some orange juice sort of influence and that kind of, or not orange juice, but orange flavored. Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. I
You know,
have no complaints. I have.
this,
This actually, you know what's really interesting? What's common between what we've all three of us have said? It is as advertised.
yes.
There's goodness in every glass, and I have to say right now, I'm rocking too. So there we go.
Except in mine, in which there is Satan in every glass.
Right, diluted Satan. How is the Satan tasting?
Quite nice, actually. It's very interesting because I would have thought this would be lighter,
Really?
but it doesn't taste light. Like, I'm guessing because I'm a noob, I'm guessing what I'm tasting is the maltiness.
Okay.
Because it's got
Yeah.
this sort of nice caramel heaviness to it.
Yeah. What is the alcohol content on that one, Dave?
It's a 10.
It's a 10.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a kick you in the pants bottle, this one.
That's probably where the evil, because I was wondering why would they go with such an evil looking label for that particular beer, because that beer doesn't come up, that kind of beer doesn't really come off as being evil. It doesn't make me think evil. I mean, no beer makes me think evil, but
No.
maybe a porter or a stout or something like that, something that's a bit heavier might be, evoke evil feelings or something. But what was interesting about the Son of the Morning, I was just on the web page for Hired Guns Creative, which is the company that designed the label. And they were approached by Driftwood, and they said, make it evil. No reasoning for it.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah, so what they did is they made a label that was based around sort of like, like the old school death metal album covers. And so Son of the Morning is the label is that's what they got. And they used it, and it seems to be really popular. So good on them.
It's quite something. I still can't believe that they would actually list Satan as being one of the ingredients. That's hilarious.
Why not? It's a great idea because, when you have... Okay, here's the thing. In this market where the craft market is exploding for beer, you don't have... You have to take chances. You have to do something different because otherwise it's just another beer place. It's just another... Which might have a beer that kind of rocks your pants. But most of the time, the rock panage, not so much, because the rock panage is really dependent upon whether or not you have quality ingredients and you make beer that is not populist. It's not just, a Pilsner from, I don't know, I'll pick on Molson's. Because these large beer companies, they find these great recipes, they replicate them over and over again, but they don't make them unique. They don't actually go out there and say, I'm going to make a beer like Fuggles and Warlock. They've got beers that are somewhat unique, that are interesting. They even say, you know what, we're going to make beer. Let's also make the actual name. Let's don't call it like blah, blah, blah brewery, some typical, Johnson Street brewery. No, let's call it Fuggles and Warlock. Why? Because it's awesome. Because it's different, and no one's going to ever confuse us with anybody else. Where if you have a company like Molson buying up all these, Granville Island and all these other sort of companies, and a few months ago we did the that one that I liked, the Boddingtons, which is owned by a company that owns like 900 different breweries. So I gotta say, being unique with your labels that are consistent at least, because here's the thing, right? on my label, show me your labels. My label, there's no Driftwood logo. There's no. This is what our consistent, look of our company is. It's very because it's like sorry there. I said there isn't, but there actually is. Sorry, it's the label is not just a big logo, because the logo for Driftwood is just hiding down here in the bottom, and they actually let the labels really speak for themselves, which I think we like about Fat Tug as well, because we were very critical of them changing the Fat Tug logo when we did Fat Tug last fall sometime. So yeah, I mean yay.
Success in the craft beer marketplace is like maybe half dependent on the beer itself and the other half on marketing. How you present your company. Like, say, Steam Whistle, like all their fleet of delivery trucks and everything are all classic trucks, like from the 50s and 60s that they've gone and fixed up and restored and branded to be, Steam Whistle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's as much attitude as it is the beer itself.
We'll also say the same thing for Red Truck, who has their brewery just across the street from us. I look at their logo every day. I also see their trucks every day, which is a ton of different sort of different beers that they've made over the years, but they have always been consistent with that Red Truck theme, to the point where it's called, their little restaurant is called the Truck Stop. So.
There's a Red Truck here that's always parked by a house, sort of
in
close
Victoria.
to where I live. Yeah,
that's kind of awesome. What any particular?
It's a pickup truck, and it's got the Red Truck logo on it.
And did you go and knock on their door and be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
No.
Well, why not? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I thought that was kind of creepy.
Why?
The guy's probably just a sales rep or something, and he's like, "Yeah, so
why are you here? Stop! Get off my lawn!"
Get off my
it's funny that the default go-to is "Get off my lawn."
Eat lead, slackers.
That should become the new thing. That should totally become the new saying of "Get off my lawn." Eat lead, slackers. Because why not? That is the killer sort of comment ever created for slackerdom. Dave,
so I'd like to say just a second here.
Yeah.
Kudos to Driftwood for making good quality beer and marketing it right.
Here.
Yes.
I gotta say that they say that it has an orange citrus taste. They've got a lot of orange in the label. It's like drinking diluted orange juice, but good diluted orange juice.
Excellent.
So how's your week been, boys and girls? Boys and girls? Boys. I don't know why.
No, that's apropos. Dave's here.
That's true. Dave! What else do you need to say? Dave is here. Lost in the world of the middle of the island.
That's all it takes.
Locke is not here this week because he's probably I don't know, to be honest. I don't know where he went. So I have a question. I don't know. So what has been in the news, guys? You've actually been following some of the really cool stories that have been going on in Canadian beer news, yes?
Well, so in Canada, I mean, a lot of the news the past week has been centered around Fort McMurray.
This is very true.
So for anybody who maybe doesn't know or watching this way after the fact or whatever, there's a huge wildfire going on in Alberta, a Canadian province, and it threatened the city of Fort McMurray. Right now, the entire city has been evacuated. Nobody is in the city. And
Actually, that's
reports
not
are
true.
that
There
about
are.
10% of the city was lost.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I actually have a link here, because I was actually going to mention this, that there are a number of breweries in Fort McMurray. Specifically, the one that seems to be the most or the biggest one is the Wood Buffalo Brewing Co. I don't know what condition their building is in. I'm certainly hoping that it survived. But it was actually part of the Jasper Brewing Co. It's kind of like a um, Jasper and Banff. They had breweries open in 2005 and 10. And then this one is connected. They haven't quite explained what their connection is really, but they opened in 2013. And it sounds like that they are sort of some of the founders have all worked together. So the beer-loving pig left behind during Fort McMurray evacuation found safe. Oh, good. Marshall, the pet pig who missed the bus. Missed the bus. You know, I'm trying to think of like the pug's like the pug. It's a pug. The pig is running down the highway going wee wee, you know, waving like a ticket. It's me. You forgot me. Here's the thing. It's a tragedy in property loss, and I have to say that the Alberta government moving 80 to 90,000 people out of the area was an astounding feat, and only two people lost their lives when they collided with a large tractor trailer, which was a terrible, sort of horrible tragedy in the midst of a bigger tragedy.
But did you see the video that some people took of the evacuation with like driving down a highway with like trees in flames all around them?
Yes,
I mean that's
the one where they were
dramatic.
driving very slowly, sort of along a side street, and the there was the fire on the one side of the street. I mean, it was brutal. I would have gone crazy because it's not.
I would have needed diapers.
Well, yeah, I would have been filling my pants as well if I was in a car or a truck just driving along and looking over and kind of wanting to drive further to one side. Yeah, and then there were people on motorbikes and things like that. So I also have to say that it was very cool that the Alberta government sort of said we need planes in the north, and WestJet sent like a dozen planes to get people out of the because it was 25,000 people went north, everyone else went south.
Huh.
But, so I mean, this is a bit of good news. I mean, in getting 80,000 people out of Fort McMurray, a lot of the animals got left behind.
Yeah, they've got somewhere like 200 animals in a warehouse right now. Of animals that have been recovered. I'm sure that there was probably a lot of pets that didn't make it, considering there was actually a video that I saw that had a fish tank in it.
I saw that.
Security cam footage. Not that fish really would have noticed too much, I don't think, but it was pretty sad just to see the entire house kind of burned down and just.
Oh, is that the guy that was watching his house in real time go up?
Yeah, because he had a security cam in his living room, and
right.
Yeah, that would have been awful. Could you imagine, like, house is okay, people, house. Oh shit. Okay. No, camera's gone. Okay, house is dead. Yeah, that would have been awful to watch. I got to say, out of this whole awful situation that has happened, it's very cool to see something of this magnitude go down, and the sort of not global community, I won't say it, but I'll say the community of Canada really has sort of stepped up, and donations poured in like before people were evacuating and all kinds of things. So I don't know, I gotta say it was now this is such a downer. Now I'm drinking beer and I'm like
well, okay, so we'll lift our spirits. Okay, so there is a fundraiser for Fort McMurray. that is being put on by a lot of the breweries from craft breweries from Alberta. It's called the Fort McMurray Fundraiser. It's happening May 13th between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. in the craft beer market. It's being participated by Big Rock Brewery, Village Brewery, Wild Rose Brewery, Last Best, and Boiling Ore Brewing Company. And I guess all beer sales between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. on May the 13th is going to go to is going to be donated to the Red Cross for Fort McMurray fire relief efforts, which I think is kind of cool.
That is incredibly cool.
That's impressive that they're going to do everything. Because usually it's a percentage, right, when they do that kind of thing. So
yeah.
Kudos to them for just saying, here, take it all.
So apparently, if you want more details, if you're in, I guess you have to be in Alberta to take advantage of this. But they have a Facebook listing for the event, and it's called the Fort McMurray Fundraiser. So I would look that up and support it.
And drink beer.
And drink beer. And help the people of Fort McMurray.
Because they do, and it's have you actually seen any of the photographs and stuff from Fort McMurray? Because they're allowing small groups of reporters, I think, to check things out. Have you seen this?
No.
I've seen one picture.
Sorry?
I've seen one picture that came out on the weekend. I think it was of a burnt-out truck. If I remember.
Yeah, well, they just had some people in there today, I think, and they've actually had a lot of new footage of that of the what has happened, because I gather it's still a little while before they'll let people back to check out what's happened. The other thing, too, is another story, which actually I should throw this in here into our little back channel here. The SPCA was actually recovering, speaking of pets earlier, was recovering pets. And the recovered pet, they were doing it without telling anybody. They didn't actually want people to know that they were doing this because I think part of it is that they just don't want to, anyone who has a pet, they didn't want people to sort of overwhelm them with, where my dog is or where my cat is or whatever it is, because a lot of them probably didn't make it, especially, I would think, cats. Because one of the things about the stories that I was watching today, a lot of sort of people were saying that, the cats would spook easily, and when you're suddenly moving around and trying to get out of the house and trying to get into a car, that some of the cats were like off hiding somewhere. Where dogs tend to not do that as much, but yeah, it's really sad, and I had to hug my pug a little bit closer today just because of that story. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. God, I'm so sad now. I'm drinking beer and I'm sad.
Okay, well, let's cheer it up a bit. Let's talk about something fun.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been wanting to bring this up in our podcast for a while now, and because basically I don't know what to make of this woman. But
it shows the picture of his wife. What is wrong with her?
Okay. Have you
Going
guys?
to hell for that one, boys and girls. Thank you so much. And
you guys have heard of Showri, right?
Of who?
Showri or Showri. She is a Korean woman who is a vlogger, and she posts videos of herself in scantily clad outfits, acting crazy with food.
How do you spell this? I've never heard of this before.
Showry. like every single one of her videos gets like 1 million or more hits, and it's just like she eats everything and spits it out, and it goes all over her, and she's wearing like almost nothing, and it's interesting. It's crazy. I'm not sure if she is crazy or incredibly brilliant. I'm thinking it's a combination of the two. Anyway, she's a South Korean feminist shock comedian. She parodies the mukbang trend during her YouTube videos, and says that her films are a feminist reaction to perceptions of Asian women. So I had to look up what mukbang was.
Because I was just trying to find it. Like, I don't know what that even is.
Yeah, it's a type of performance in which a host eats large quantities of food while interacting with the audience. Interesting.
Okay. Keep going, because I have to look up this one that I just noticed the other day. Keep going.
So I don't know what else to say. I've been wanting. I assumed that you guys would have seen some of her videos by now. I mean, she's.
Oh God, no! I've never heard of this. This is astounding.
Okay, she's.
I haven't heard of her either.
Yeah, I mean, I've been sort of like. I've seen her videos online since about, I guess, in the fall. And it just kind of creeped me out at first. I mean, she's easy on the eyes, but then she makes herself very sort of ugly. Not ugly, but not desirable by the things that she does. And she's making a statement. It's a political statement, and right. I totally get that, and I support that. But it's just interesting. I was wondering what you guys thought about it, but since you guys have never heard of her, then
I've never heard of her. I think she's a little crazy. But again, if she's actually doing something in order to sort of bring attention to a particular issue in Korea, then that is. Honestly, people that do weird things online, like the Crafty Boys, definitely would get more attention than somebody who's like, "Hi, I think that this particular issue is important to cover. I would really like it if you were to support me, because I don't know what else to say other than I need support for this particular issue. Thank you. Please hit subscribe on this channel, because if you do that, you will become more important to me. And I will, of course, send you money." I mean, put it this way. Here's this story is very interesting. I'm gonna segue this into the story that I heard just last week, which I had again never heard of. But maybe you both have. Have you heard of a song by an artist named Christina Caro called "Give Me Green Card"?
No.
Dave?
No, I think I've heard of her.
Okay.
But no, not the tune.
This exploded, I gather, around this time last year. And I'll read you the title of the article. Woman... Christina Caro has recently dropped her lawsuit against Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis being that actress from the '70s show, and is now married to Ashton Kutcher. She sued Mila Kunis last year because when they were children in the Ukraine, they were about 7 years old, Mila Kunis stole her pet chicken.
All right.
And
so anyway,
so basically she wanted to cash in on Mila Kunis's fame.
You should on YouTube, if you haven't already, Google "Give Me Green Card," and you'll be amazed. Anyway, so she's like a wannabe musician. She's not exactly I mean, she's
Talented?
talented enough, I think, to at least start a career, maybe, or at least start training for one. But yeah, she's was suing for emotional trauma when the 7-year-old Kuna stole her pet chicken when they were living together or growing up together in the Ukraine. She alleges that her chicken Doggy disappeared, and later
She
Kunis
called her
confessed.
chicken Doggy?
Yep. Kunis later confessed to the crime and told her, Christina, you can have any other chicken as a pet. You can have a whole chicken farm. And anyway, the theft of her chicken apparently prevented her from pursuing an American dream. The American dream. So she is now saying that she wanted to have her chicken back or something. Yeah. But here's the interesting part is that apparently she was only a month old when the chicken was stolen. So there you go.
I thought they were both 7.
Sorry?
I thought they were both 7, you said.
No. Kunis was 7.
Oh.
They were just growing up together. But apparently later on, Kunis said, we weren't even living close together. They were living quite a ways apart. So who knows? But now we have the Give Me Green card from Christina Caro as a reminder that anything can happen. Including me getting my facial hair stuck in my zipper. Ow. So yeah, this really, honestly, this is something that I have seen quite a bit on just online in general, but YouTube is especially interesting. The other day, I was on YouTube and I searched for news from CBC about the McMurray fire, and about the third or fourth hit down, there was a big title on a video called "Who Started the Fort McMurray Fire?" And I thought, oh, does somebody actually have information about that? That's kind of interesting because people are saying it was possibly man-made, that there was no weather or lightning that might have started it, so it's most likely somebody with a campfire being a little careless. So it's this guy who is using satellite images to attempt to pinpoint the point of where the ignition might have happened, and he kept saying things like, "There's a lot of geological activity over here. There's a lot of this, that, and the other thing. Check out those chemtrails." And then I was like, "Sorry, pardon me, chemtrails?"
Oh.
Anyway, and then I realized I was watching, and so I actually went to the guy's channel. I stopped the video, and I'm like, "Okay, who is this person?" Turns out he's some whack-a-mole from the middle of Kansas somewhere, who has a number of videos about chemtrails, a lot of terraforming, apparently, on Earth going on right now that we're unaware of.
Does he wear a tinfoil hat?
You know what? He didn't have any photos, but it wouldn't surprise me. So it's very interesting that he drew out this like 30-minute video from 2 pictures that was supplied by NASA for the news media or whatever. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's a lot of crap on YouTube, including the Crafty Boys. You can find all of our videos on YouTube.
I'm out. What? This is crap? I can't be a part of crap! I'm a published author! I have a reputation to worry about! Murder, death, kill!
Murder, death, kill. You are fined 1 demerit.
That little tiny thing. I have to go to the bathroom. You don't know how to use the 3 shells? I still want to know how 3 shells work. Like, I've never actually really thought to look it up. Okay.
Well, you know, I have looked it up.
Okay.
And there was no answer.
Here we go.
It's
The
just one of those
denofgeek.com reveals In 2014, Demolition Man, The Origins of the Three Seashells revealed. It's not quite a mystery solved, but screenwriter Daniel Waters has explained where Demolition Man's three seashells came from. There's an argument that suggests that the closest Sylvester Stallone ever really came to playing Judge Dredd wasn't in the 1995 film of the same name, but his earlier sci-fi action, Demolition Man. It's not a brilliant argument, but it's an argument nonetheless. Why is that even a paragraph? We've had an awful lot of time since Demolition Man, which co-starred Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, and the late Nigel Hawthorne, the man who was less a fan of the movie, using it as a stepping stone to get The Madness of King George made. But one of the residing mysteries that it still centers on, well, is the toilet. More specifically, the three seashells that have replaced toilet paper in the future. Whilst we're no closer to working out how the seashells work, well, what is the point of this article then?
I know, there's no point.
What the hell? This is like the Adventures of Ford Fairlane. They're talking about the adventures. You know what? Screw you guys. Den of Geek. Bite me.
They didn't consider physics when they thought of like the three seashells. It's just us putting the three seashells because it's weird and nobody will be able to figure it out.
So, by the way, if you go to i-mockery.com/shorts/3-seashells, they have a very graphic description of how you use the seashells. I'm not going to share this link with you. I'm hopefully never going to see what I just saw ever again.
You can't unsee what you've seen. And on that
by the way, here's the this is one last thing about the three seashells. The 25th anniversary screening of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane with the legend in person and Daniel Waters, the writer-director. Apparently, he said, "I won't tell you the actual secret, but I'll tell you where it came from. There's a scene where Stallone has to go to the bathroom in the film, and I was trying to come up with some futuristic things that you might find in the futuristic bathroom. I was having trouble coming up with ideas, so I called my buddy, another screenwriter, and said, 'Hey, do you have any ideas about a futuristic bathroom?' And ironically enough, he was currently taking a dump when he answered the phone, and he looked around his bathroom and said, 'I have a bag of seashells on my toilet as decoration.' And I said, 'Great, I'll make something out of that.'" You heard it here first. The three seashells was more or less a
decoration.
A decoration in
it kind of reminds me. Remember that when we used to go to see the Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted, and I can't remember what the film was called, but it was a short animation where the guy is at like a dinner party or something, and he goes into the bathroom and takes a dump, and realizes afterwards that there's no more toilet paper, and he has to go back out to everybody, including this woman who I guess is kind of hot for him, and so he wants to make a good impression. So he grabs the dog and wipes his butt with the dog.
Yeah, whenever he grabbed the dog, and he was like, "Ah!" I kind of miss Spike and Mike's. And of course, the dog was like, "Great." On that note, take us home, Alan.
Okay, bye.
Or as
we'll
the
see you
Klingon
next week.
ambassador on Kittimer Outpost went,
That was perfect.
"Wow. Contempt for the audience. Well played, sir. Well played." On that note, we're going to let you all go so you don't have to suffer through this bajadgery. I don't know what that is. But of course, you can find our channel on YouTube at The Crafty Boys, youtube.com/ whatever the hell it is. Sorry?
Get through the crap.
To make your way through the crap on YouTube, just type in www.youtube.com/something. I don't actually know. That's so sad. You'd think that we would actually know our own bloody channel address. But anyway, of course, you can find us on YouTube. Sorry, on YouTube. Oh, sorry, on Twitter. Twitter.com/craftyboys, and of course thecraftyboys.ca. And you will be able to find everything there. And I blame this episode on Dave, because Dave couldn't help us find a beer this week that made any sense. So thanks for that, Dave. It's all on you. I and Alan have nothing to do with it. So here's to you screwing up, Dave. Thank you again to Driftwood Brewery for making awesome beer. We'll see you guys next week. Bye!